Hey guys, it's Boki here with JUKI Junkies, home to Gigi's fabric shop, and today's video is going to be on the JUKI J150, and we're going to be giving you guys 5 mind-blowing facts that you just need to know on this machine, and there'll probably be a little bit more than 5 just because this machine is pretty awesome. So let's dive into it. Number 1, the reason why this machine is so much more special than the other JUKI sewing machines that you might see is because this is an industrial machine that has been domesticated to meet all those needs from those home sewing professionals at home. You're able to do a wide variety of sewing from free motion quilting to regular piecing of both thin and thick fabrics. So if you're familiar with domestic machines, kind of like the TL18, you have that wide variety. Well, this is like the TL18 on steroids, kind of had a baby with an industrial sewing machine. So it sits in this beautiful table, so you have a large workspace to work on. It goes very fast at 2,500 stitches per minute. So let's dive into some of the other features. Number 2, this machine has an aluminum bobbin. So sewing at 2,500 stitches per minute, you would think it's super loud and super clinky. Not at all. So here's just a little side-by-side of the bobbin that you would see on the JUKI TL. They are the same exact size. It's just this is made out of an aluminum type of fabric or material, so it makes it sew very, very quietly. Side by side, you see this one's significantly darker. This one is much more louder. It sounds like metal, and I like to drop them on the table to show customers just how quiet it is. That's the TL. That's the aluminum. Did you hear that? Let's do it again. Much more quiet. So that's going to show when you're actually sewing at that full speed ahead, it sews really, really quiet. Number 3, this machine is very, very easy to navigate. So you got your little computerized component here. Everything you need to know is on the screen. There's not really any extra stuff you got to click through. I'm going to show you just how easy it is to go from regular sewing, which we're in right now, to free motion quilting. And I'm going to do it blind. Just like that. That's it. So let's do a little close-up of the screen. I'm going to show you some important things. So to easily go from free motion quilting, regular piecing, it's just this little button right here. You're going to click it. It's going to make those according adjustments. And once you have your settings all set out, you're not going to have to keep doing those over and over again. You just keep switching back and forth to what you need. You'll notice up here you have a bobbin counter, so it'll kind of let you know how many stitches you've done. Is your bobbin kind of running close? You have your stitch length right here. You can set it up to 5 or even a -5. You have your micro lifter function. I'll kind of elaborate on that a little bit later, so you can make the foot go up higher or more down low if you're trying to create more pressure, less pressure, depending on what you're sewing on. You have your tension, which is on the screen. There's no buttons or dials that you actually play with on the machine. It's all on the screen right in front of you. And then here you can set your speed, how fast you'd like to go. So really easy to navigate, you guys. All the important stuff is right on the screen, no extra fluff. An important interruption. Did you know that the J150 is on sale by like $1,000? So if you've been thinking about this machine and all these little fun facts are, you know, making your heart flutter, you definitely want to jump on that sale because at $1,000 off, that's pretty good. Number 4, this one by far has to be my favorite because I don't know another machine that does this. Do you know when you start sewing and right at the beginning, there's like that little tail that hangs out at the top and you always have to trim it? Well, this machine has a function where you can turn that on and off, so it'll automatically either tuck that beginning thread tail underneath your fabric, or you can leave it out and then trim it yourself. So let me show you the difference. So how you can turn this function on and off, it's right here. It says TC. You click it and there's 2 things you choose from. When you have the little circle with the slash through, that means you don't have that setting turned on. So we're just gonna set it to that. You always press the back button when you want to save the function. So then we're going to start sewing. And let's observe. There's the little thread tail. So you would just manually cut this. And if you don't want to have that little thread tail at the beginning, which can get pretty obnoxious, you're going to go back to the screen right at that TC, and then you're going to set it to where there's no little red circle, and then you'll save it. We'll start off right next to it again just to see the difference. Let's compare, and voila, it tucks it in for you. And then depending on what kind of thread, you can always just clip that little extra there, but it does a really beautiful job of just kind of expediting that one little step. Number 5, when I was doing a little overview of the machine and how easy it is to navigate, remember I mentioned how it has a micro lifter? Very similar to the TL18, but again, this is like on steroids. So I want to show you on the screen how you can set your micro lifter, and you can actually change the feed dog system on this machine too. Let me explain. Foot pressure, you'll locate it right here. It looks like a little foot. I have mine set at about 70 right now. That's kind of standard for just, regular piecing, 4 or 6 layers. But this is something you can customize. You can apply more pressure as needed if you're working with very thin materials like silk, lace, organza, because remember, this machine is very, very versatile. It can do very thin layers all the way to those thick. So let's say you are working on thick materials. If you are familiar with the TL18, you know that it has a micro lifter, meaning that the presser foot will raise up to give you a larger clearance for those fabrics. Watch what happens when I go into the negatives now. The foot raises up and I'm almost able to fit my whole finger underneath there. So that's gonna make a very big difference in those thicker projects when you're making your bags, if you're doing any type of upholstery projects, and even so in free motion quilting. This is something you can customize in the free motion quilting panel as well. So watch what I go over here. I have it set at negative 288. So I have more room to be able to move my sandwich when I'm doing my free motion quilting. Again, customizable to whatever you're doing. You just save it and you're ready to go.
Hey, bring it back down here. Pay attention to this machine. I know there's some beautiful threads behind us, but if you're interested in those, you can click down in the link below. We're gonna put JUKIJunkies.com in the description. Shop our website where we have all of the glide threads, carryo threads, industrial threads, and tons of Juki accessories and notions for all of your sewing needs, and we ship out pretty much the same day you order. So if you're looking for really quick shipping, make sure to check out JUKIJunkies.com, where we love providing you a fast, reliable service for all your sewing needs.
All right, so the next thing I want to show you guys is the feed dogs. These are something that can be customized as well. So right here, you'll notice the feed dogs, it literally looks like the feed dogs, has a little ridges that pop up, and you have 4 different ones to choose from. So the square function is going to be your most, it's kind of like that newer technology. You'll see a lot of machines advertising that they have a box feed motion. That's why Juki machines in particular have such an incredible stitch quality, is because their feed dogs feed in a box motion. This one is kind of like what's been around forever. I mean, most traditional sewing machines since the beginning of time always fed in that kind of oval type of circular motion. I mean, that's not bad. It's going to be good for just piecing through those layers, nothing too fancy schmancy, but if you want definition in your stitches, especially in quilting, bag making, this is going to be the way to go. And then in these last two, in A and C, you definitely want to check out your manual for those. These have very specific functions. They're not nearly going to be as commonly used as S and as B there. So these are going to be for when you're kind of fluctuating in those types of layers, like if you're going from thick to thin or thin to thick. So definitely read up on those two to make your sewing experience a lot easier. But this is an insanely cool function because again, I've never seen this on any type of sewing machine. You have so much control on whatever you're doing.
Boki, I think we may have forgot a few things. Actually, maybe not forgot, but I don't think we're going to be able to fit 5 facts because this machine is just incredible.
I think you're right.
So where should we start?
Oh my gosh, there's so many good things.
What about the buttons?
The buttons. Okay, yes. So in the front of the machine, there's these 2 little guys right here. This one actually comes down to make it easier to navigate through. This top one makes my presser foot go up and down, and then this one makes my needle go up and down. But if you don't like those functions, you can set them to whatever is easier for you.
Huh. Okay, and what about the needle? Is it the same needle as the TLs or domestic machines, or is it industrial?
Actually, no. So this machine does use a DBX1 style needle, which is a round needle. An industrial style needle doesn't have that flat side like most home sewing machines do. So it really lets you elevate up in your thicknesses of fabric as well as the thicknesses of your thread too.
Huh, okay. And as far as oiling goes, doesn't it have like an oil reservoir so you don't have to oil all the spots like a TL?
That's right. So like on the TL, you may notice that there's all those little oiling ports that you got to oil. This machine does it for you with this little gas tank, I like to call it. It's a little oil reservoir. It's going to do that oiling for you.
Wow, that's cool. Okay, and I've heard that you can use the same parts as a TL as far as like the feet go. Is that true?
That's right. So as far as accessories go for this machine, if you have a TL or if you don't, doesn't really matter. The TL feet will work on this machine with the exception of the walking foot because this machine does not have a walking foot and the free motion quilting feet. But all those other really awesome feet like the smooth foot, the really skinny zipper foot, and any of those like specific feet that you might use for garment sewing will all work on this machine.
Huh. That's pretty cool. And there's got to be something I might be forgetting about.
Yes. One thing I wanted to mention is on this machine, you can do custom stitch combinations. as many as you want, really. There's endless amounts. You can make it do whatever you want at the beginning of a stitch. You can make it do whatever you want at the end of the stitch. You can even do kind of like a sashiko style stitch, where if you're not familiar with that, it's kind of like that hand stitch look where the stitches are really nice and pronounced and large. You can totally set up your own unique combination where, let's say it takes 5 stitches forward and then 6 back and then another 3 forward and then it zooms off, and you can make those even tighter or greater. There's a lot of possibilities as far as what you want it to do.
Wow, this
Yeah.
machine's amazing.
There's a lot of stuff on this one.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to leave a comment down below, like the video, and subscribe because we post every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach us at our phone number, 813-661-9000, between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's Monday through Friday. Or you can send us an email anytime at sewingmachines411@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much, and we hope to see you on the next video.